Now, I know that you want connection more than anything. You crave that deep bond, that feeling of being truly known and loved. But every time that somebody starts to get close, every time they want to go deeper, your body betrays you. Your chest gets tight. Your breathing gets shallow. You feel like you need to run or that you're going to suffocate. Then you do something and you push them away. Maybe you pick a fight. You withdraw. You find reasons why they're wrong for you. You sabotage the very thing that you wanted the most. And the worst part, you hate yourself for it. You watch yourself destroy good relationships, and you can't understand why. Now, I know that you promise yourself that you'll do better next time. But when that moment comes, when someone wants to be vulnerable with you or wants you to be vulnerable with them again, the same thing happens. Your body takes over, and you're running again. You feel like you're broken, like you're destined to be alone, like there's something fundamentally wrong with you that makes real love impossible. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist with 16 years of training and experience helping people understand why their bodies sabotage their relationships. And I've discovered through working with thousands of clients is that this push-away response is not a character flaw or even really a conscious choice. It's an automatic nervous system activation that your brain learned to protect you from what it perceives as mortal danger. Your attachment system is doing exactly what it was programmed to do. Now stick with me in this video and I will show you the exact difference between the rare person who consciously, purposely destroys relationships and the majority of people whose attachment system is unconsciously hijacking their love life. You're going to finally understand why you destroy relationships that you actually do want. You'll discover the exact 3 steps to stop your nervous system from wrecking your love life, and you'll walk away knowing how to stay close to someone without your body going into panic mode. Most importantly, you'll discover the specific timeline it takes to rewire these patterns and how to manage the process without relapsing back into push-away mode. But first, you need to understand that what's happening to you, it isn't sabotage at all. It's something much more automatic and much more flexible. Now, first, let's distinguish between purposeful, conscious sabotage that you choose versus unconscious sabotage that activates. Conscious sabotage is actually very rare. It's usually from highly manipulative or controlling people. Okay? Conscious behavior comes from the prefrontal cortex. It's designed to achieve a goal that you're aware of. This is what I want. This is the best way to get it. I'm going to do that. It requires a choice. We choose to do this thing. Now, conscious sabotage is usually drawn from a place with a lot less empathy and a lot more narcissistic traits or even sociopathic traits, where you act upon other people and don't care if you hurt them. Conscious sabotage is I will get what I want in the short term and not even regard or think about the long term. All I care about is short term. And if they don't like it, who cares? I'll find someone else who does. Conscious, purposeful sabotage, like I said, is fairly rare. And again, we call it manipulation. We call it control. We call it destructive intentions, right? Somebody who is noticeably, visibly hurtful. Now, a lot of times, we classify unconscious activation as if it was conscious. And this is where most anger and resentment and hatred toward ex-partners comes from. When you get on the internet and you see the vast majority of relationship experts over the last 4 years since I started talking about attachment, and they've all come out and they all want to cater to anxious people and say, your avoidant ex is a monster. What they're doing is catering to the projection from the anxious side of people that avoidant people are consciously, actively sabotaging on purpose from purely sociopathic, narcissistic traits of I'm hurting you, and I know I'm hurting you, and I don't care. That's where that anger, resentment, etc. comes from. And that's catering to hatred, pain, and resentment. That's why I never do that. That's why I refuse to do that. The vast majority of people are unconscious. Their activation comes unconsciously. What's actually happening is I am frightened. I can't handle it. My defensive systems click on. Unconscious activation means I'm afraid, but I can't admit it even to myself or to others. So I have to get out of this situation, right? Fight, flight, fawn, freeze. Those are the 4 steps of the limbic system, that fight or flight survival system. When your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, detects fear and terror and danger, if it's too intense, it overwhelms your prefrontal cortex, the conscious decision-making, and slides towards survival to shorten decision-making and lie to yourself to justify anything you have to do. I will fight. If I can't fight, if that makes it worse, I will run away. If I can't run away, I will fawn. I will people please, make people happy. And if I can't even do that, I'm stuck, I will freeze. In descending order. Okay? Now, most people in relationships, they might fight a few times, or they might be programmed to be too afraid to fight. I don't want to hurt you, for example. High levels of empathy will prevent fighting. I don't want to hurt you. The only thing left is flight. Now, sabotage is usually just enough leg room to flee. I'm going to run away, and I'm going to do it by convincing myself that this is a big enough problem to justify my running. That's unconscious activation. You lie to yourself to convince yourself that that's the process. Now, if this sounds remarkably familiar, it's probably because you've done it many times. Most people do during the course of our life at some point, but people with attachment issues do it far more. And especially people with more trauma and damage will do it excessively more. The group of people that do this the absolute most with attachment issues are loud disorganized, what used to be called fearful avoidant. Their trauma is so intense that their brain will lie to itself about why they're doing that thing. I had to run away from the relationship and leave because they wore gray pants all the time. And that's the mark of an awful person. Why would someone wear gray pants? I had to end our engagement the day before our wedding because he always plays video games on Thursdays, and I just could not live with that for the rest of my life. If this sounds remarkably familiar, again, there was a whole episode of Seinfeld, the comedy show, about this, right? I had to break up with her. She had man hands. He wears weird shoes. We think up excuses that make no sense outside of our brain, but we run with it, and we run away from it. I am terrified. I want to fight, flight, fawn, freeze, but I can't justify it. So I need to find the angle to justify it. It's like a really sleazy lawyer in a courtroom thinking up the weirdest possible defense to acquit their client of the worst crimes that they've committed. Okay? Unconscious justifications. I had to break up with him because if I tried to have a conversation with him, he probably would have yelled at me anyway. I had to break up with her, or I had to cheat on her because she really didn't like me anyway, and I need to prove that to her. I've heard these excuses before. I had to use pornography every single night for the last 5 years secretly and not tell my wife, because otherwise I'd bother her with my needs. What? Right? I needed to file for divorce because otherwise no one would respect me because I've spent so long complaining about him. What? Right? We make up excuses to do what our limbic system is screaming at us we have to do to get out of danger. Your brain will lie to itself. This is unconscious activation. And again, this is the more common one. And when we understand that someone's activating by fear and they're sabotaging unconsciously, we can have some compassion for them. This is why I teach compassion for the attachment styles here on my channel, not hatred and division. I get asked all the time, what is my attachment style? What is my attachment style? What is my attachment style? So I have finally launched the attachment assessment. This is not a short quiz that just spits out an answer after 3 seconds. This is a thorough, in-depth, science-backed assessment. Check it out on my website, adamlanesmith.com, and learn your attachment style, the severity of what you're dealing with, and some next steps you can take right now to build very secure attachment. But let's talk about this. What happens to your body when someone gets too close emotionally? Anxious people are fearful when someone actually sees them for who they are, past their mask of performance. Avoidant people are fearful when someone gets too close and starts doing things emotionally that could get them dragged in or could be used against them. Loud, disorganized people feel terrified when someone gets deep and connected and it feels like you can't live without them, right? Quiet, disorganized people get terrified when someone digs for information to understand you. Now, I'm warning you, when you understand this mechanism of what happens, you may never look at your relationships or your brain or your body the same way ever again. So let's go through your body's threat response to intimacy next. Now, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, okay? It says that emotional intimacy, real connection, equals threat. It does say this for anxiously attached people. Anxiously attached people will say, it is a threat because you'll see me and abandon me, but I still crave emotional intimacy. They crave it more than they fear it, so they still dive into it. Avoidant people will say emotional intimacy equals threat because other people will weaponize it against me. They'll get too close and try to take control of me. I won't be able to be free. I'll lose my autonomy, right? So the amygdala starts sending a threat preparation signal throughout your entire body. It starts, your heart rate speeds up, right? Your breathing gets shallow and fast like you're about to fight. Your muscles tense. You might sweat a little bit. Or for women, your blood will pool in your torso away from your limbs and your limbs will get cold and they might even shake a little bit, okay? Your brain, here's the problem, can't distinguish between there's a bear charging at me and someone told me that I could do better in my relationship. Someone told me there's a problem. Someone wants to connect to me. Someone's asking personal questions about my needs and desires. Someone wants to spend the day with me. The amygdala says intimacy equals threat. Threat is danger. Danger kills me. Closeness in the past got me hurt badly as a child. I won't let myself get hurt like that again. Now, most people who have this response, especially if they're avoidant, their prefrontal cortex is overdeveloped to squash their emotional feelings. So you don't feel your emotional response to the fear. You just go, and you feel something activate and you feel irritated. But here's what you'll feel in your body. Your chest will tighten as your vagus nerve clamps down. Your muscles will clench. Your body races and braces to take a hit. Your heart races. You feel like you're getting ready to fight. Cold sweat, hot sweat. Again, blood pooling in your torso away from the limbs. Coldness, nausea, shaking, that heart rate, what we call tachycardia, that palpitations. Breathing shallower. Your throat might feel like it's closing. These are closer and closer to panic attacks, hyperventilation, right? All of these are fearful sensations of like jitteriness, restlessness. I got to move. I got to get away. I can't sit here anymore. These physical sensations create that compounding effort now and sense now. I'm not safe. I need to escape. I need to get away. I'm going to have to fight enough to escape from the danger. It's your body priming to fight. Meanwhile, your partner's sitting there saying, I would like to understand how you feel so that we can get married. I love you and I want to be close with you. Can you please tell me about your day? Talk to me about your inner experience. Tell me more about your childhood. What do you want from me as a partner? When do you think we can get married? How do you feel about us having a child together? And you're like, I'm about to die. There is a bear coming to murder me right now. That's your system's response. Closeness and intimacy equals danger. Danger equals death. Get out. Now, why does this happen? Because in childhood, your brain paired oxytocin bonding, closeness, intimacy, all of that with danger. You may have been deprived of oxytocin bonding, or you closed out from it because your caregivers were inconsistent, unreliable, hurtful, scary. You learned that being close to a caregiver hurt you. Now you've learned that intimacy at that level, caregiver or lover, now similar intimacy levels, pain. Some children get flooded with love and then thrown away and hurt. Avoidant people believe other people are a problem. They're not to be trusted. They were given some love and affection, but paired with so much pain, they reject it. They were engulfed in other people's emotions. Avoidant people in particular have very little oxytocin experience. They have no concept of safety. They don't know how to be safe in a relationship. They're never safe. I'm always in danger. Imagine your amygdala, the fear center, always buzzing. Safety, to most people, is the absence of pain. It's not even the presence of belonging or warmth or intimacy, especially not for avoidantly attached people. Now, I know you're probably sitting here listening to this and thinking, Adam, this sounds awful. And yeah, I feel this, or I see this in my partner, and it sounds hopeless. How can I change something that's this automatic and this ingrained? That's what the next section of this video is going to cover. But first, if you're recognizing these patterns here in yourself or your partner, you need to understand something. This nervous system programming, it runs so deep that willpower alone won't fix it. You need a systematic approach to rewire these patterns at the neurobiological level. You can't just white knuckle your way through absolute fear and panic and death. I do have something that can guide you through the exact process of rewiring, but first you need to see the 3-step method I'm about to reveal, because I'm going to show you that this is completely changeable. So stay with me here, okay? Here's the 3-step wiring system. We want to rewire your brain over a process of time. First, though, we have to begin with your mind. I was recently talking with Dr. Caroline Leaf about the way that our mind, our brain, and our body interact. She's a fascinating, brilliant woman. I highly suggest you check out her work and the episode that I have with her coming out on my podcast, the I Wish You Knew podcast. But she talks about this, and this is true. Your mind first intakes experiences. Your mind gathers understanding of what happens to you. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What happened? Why did this happen? What are the variables that went into me getting hurt? When we have a trauma response, what are the variables that went into me getting hurt? And how do I make sure I never get hurt again? If the mind doesn't understand these and can't figure out and puzzle through the answers and doesn't have a plan to be safe, it goes to the brain, which is just a learning organ, and says, brain, especially the amygdala, all of these variables in this entire situation were all dangerous. All intimacy is dangerous. All closeness, all emotions, all love, all relationships are dangerous. Always be afraid, amygdala. Always be afraid. Okay? The amygdala takes that and says, okay, understood. Always be afraid, and especially in relationships, and especially close ones, and especially where someone seems to love me. I will always be afraid. Understood. Now the brain takes that and sends it to the body and says, we are in danger. We are going to die. Somebody tried to hug me. Mind, body, brain. So we need to redo all 3 of those in order. First, with your mind. You have to gather understanding. Deep understanding is part 1 of rewiring. What am I doing? This video is answering some of this, by the way. You're beginning the process for deep understanding through this video and all of my videos. That's why I make all of these. Deep understanding. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What purpose does that thing serve? The famous behaviorist B.F. Skinner said, the organism is always right. Whatever an organism is doing, it's correct. It serves a purpose. Squirrels gather acorns for winter to survive. There's no reason. They don't just gather acorns for fun. It's to keep them alive. This human sabotages relationships because their brain says it keeps me safe. There's a reason. That's why I detail in exacting, lengthy detail on these videos why people do what they do. Deep understanding. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? What purpose does it serve? When you understand the benefits and then the drawbacks to your behaviors and what it's costing you, what is this costing me? What are the benefits of my actions? I don't get hurt as often, except that I get heartbreak over and over and over and lose my lovers and my partners and my friends and family. Drawbacks, I lose my friends and family and partners. And then what it's costing you, love, connection, bonding, fulfillment. Okay? Your mind needs to understand, then it needs to know what to do instead. It needs to understand, what am I doing? What am I going to be doing? And how will I shift? And why? You need to have awareness, deep understanding. Level 1 of rewiring is mind. I know that a lot of the people watching this show right now have had attachment issues for their entire life. That's why I want to invite every single one of you to check out my attachment repair program. It just might be the jump that you need to go from insecurely attached and lonely and frustrated to fully secure, connected, and bonded in a great relationship like nothing you've ever felt before. Check out my website, adamlanesmith.com, for the attachment repair program. Now, as the mind begins to shift and says not all relationships are frightening, relationships with people who have these 6 red flags are dangerous. So if those 6 red flags are present, I should run away. But if they're not, I should scan for them. And if they're not present, I don't have to be afraid. And in fact, I should look for these 6 green flags that are really indicative that I'm actually safe. My level of safety is not just I'm not currently in pain. It's I am safe because of the character of the person and it's predictable and well done. So I don't have to be scared. Make sense? Your mind takes that data and goes to the brain and says, update. Turns out I was a little bit jumpy last time. I misspoke when I said every relationship on earth is frightening. Here's the new data. Okay? Now the brain doesn't say, oh, well, okay, I'll figure out what to do. No, the brain says, what do I do? Now, in your brain, you're going to have old patterns that are inappropriate. You're going to say, gosh, I keep screwing up my relationships. This was a good one. You're frustrated. You can't just stop. We find that it's almost impossible for someone to cold turkey stop a bad behavior or a damaging behavior, we should say. There's no bad behaviors. There's damaging, maladaptive behaviors, okay? Bad implies that it doesn't serve a purpose, and it serves some kind of purpose. Everything does, even the illegal ones, okay? You can't just choose not to push away. Don't push away. Don't push away. Don't push away. No. Replacement. For example, detail a specific response to your brain. Your mind says, brain, when we are scared, we will pause for 10 minutes. We will step away. We will tell the other person, hey, I'm having one of those activation moments. Give me 10 minutes. We will step away. We'll splash cold water on our face. We'll do diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, like light cardio, right? Like shadow box, right? We'll sing Eye of the Tiger, whatever we got to do. Then after that, as I come down, my limbic system's calmer. I recognize I'm not in danger. My prefrontal cortex reactivates. Okay, I re-engage mindfully. I will re-engage mindfully with questions. This is a replacement behavior. Okay, replace. You talk to your partner about your challenge. You choose to lean into it. Hey, heads up. Closeness sometimes feels like a danger to me. I recognize that you're not a danger and I'm choosing to trust you. That's why I'm telling you this. Step 1, okay? I need help remembering and replacing. It's my job to replace and to try to remember. It will help me as my partner if you can remind me when you see it, because you might see it before I recognize it. If you see me leaning out, please just call my attention to it. I need to calm down, and then I need to take the step forward. It's on me. But if you see it, could you please let me know? Okay? You practice, for example, if closeness and intimacy is frightening, practice 10 minutes of it, right? Guys, if it's hard for you to sit with a woman and tell her your emotional experience, set a timer. Physically, set a timer. And say, I am going to talk to you about my feelings for 5 minutes. The goal is for me to have stream of consciousness. I can't stop talking and sit silently for 4.5 minutes. I will talk to you and I will share and I will build this. I probably can't make eye contact the first few times, but I will talk to you about how I feel for 5 minutes till the alarm goes off and saves me. You step in for 5 minutes. You do it. The timer beeps. You go, oh, thank God. And you step away. Then you step back in the next night or even later that evening and you step back in another 5 to 10 minutes. And you over time add up more and more and more to desensitize. The way your partner responds to you, wow, thank you. That's actually really helpful. I swear I will never use this against you. I actually want to do good for you. What would you like me to do with the information you've shared here today? How do I give you love and respect in a new way? Right? Invite and involve your partner in the accountability process. Don't do it alone inside your head. You can't. It's not going to work that way. Invite your partner in. Then you activate special vasopressin bonding when you solve problems together. I've done 8 or 9 videos on vasopressin. I highly recommend you check it out. But it really builds special protections on your relationship. You're actually less likely to sabotage when you vasopressin bond. Big problem if you're not doing it. Big benefit if you are. So first mind, then brain. Replace behaviors on purpose. Retrain your brain. You need to retrain your brain and your amygdala in particular. Intimacy isn't frightening. I'm not going to die. I'm nervous after 5 times of doing it for 5 minutes. I'm nervous, but I'm no longer afraid. I no longer fear death. I just fear inconvenience. It feels awkward, right? Now it doesn't even feel awkward. It feels weird, but it feels okay. She loves it, right? Great way to replace. Stop sabotaging by desensitizing and have your partner help you. Now, after all of this comes body. Your body will be stressed. Your body isn't just stressed because your brain says, be afraid. Your body's stressed because you don't sleep very well. You have allergies, right? You're hungry. You're tired. Your blood sugar is off. Your body feels weird because you did leg day yesterday. And now you're grumpy because your legs hurt. You're stressed out for a variety of reasons. You can't reprogram appropriately if you're constantly stressed and freaked out. You have to manage stress, and the best way to do that is through physical techniques, supplements. There's some incredible supplements that help with stress management. Not drugs, not pharmaceuticals, supplements, okay? There's a lot of great supplements specifically for stress management that can be highly effective. But physical techniques, diaphragmatic breathing. I teach my coaching clients a special variant of progressive muscle relaxation, tensing and releasing and breathing. It's a whole process, okay? As you manage your stress in your body, it helps manage attempted relapses. When you're at 7 or 8 out of 10 stress every day, you have no buffer. You're going to mess up over and over and over. It's hard to reprogram. When you bring yourself down to 2 out of 10 stress daily, you have so much buffer that you can remember how to stop, how to pause, how to replace. You can stay on track. Again, I talked to Dr. Caroline Leaf, and this was fascinating research. She says that it takes an average of 58 to 63 days to fully change a behavior pattern. Brain scans back this up, okay? Again, brilliant woman. Check out her work. But 58 to 63 days, you're going to have to manage your stress for 2 months so that you can stay on track with the desensitizing, with the reprogramming, the rewiring, the reminding, the talking, the sharing, all of that, the processing. You need to have stress management techniques that support your body's nervous system to regulate so your brain and mind can fully do the rewiring process together. Now, again, here's a part that's really going to give you hope. That 58 to 63 day rewiring process from Dr. Leaf, 58 to 63 days, 2 months to fully change a behavior pattern. Now, that's a deeply ingrained behavior pattern. One deeply ingrained behavior pattern. Managing stress during that time prevents those massive relapses, and it also accelerates your growth forward. The importance of not destroying that new cycle, guys, I can't even tell you, okay? You're going to have blips, but explosive relapses where you give up, that's the issue. 58 to 63 days to do one massive behavior pattern. Then another massive behavior. I am always sabotaging my relationships. 58 to 63 days. I am heavily attracted to the wrong people and can't attract the right people. 58 to 63 days. Right? I am constantly collapsing into anxiety and people pleasing. And I don't have boundaries. 58 to 63 days. I am constantly parenting, mothering my partner because I think that's the only way I can be loved. 58 to 63 days. I am always trying to be interesting through sex and overwhelming the other person with great feelings and love bombing them so that they won't leave me. 58 to 63 days. Okay? This is the pattern, about 2 months. Mind first, brain second, body third. All linked together. They're not really separate entities. It's a flow between the three. So let's reiterate this, okay? Understanding, deep understanding in your mind. This video is helping you with that. All the videos on this channel should. Replacing the behaviors through your brain. Managing stress through your body. Normal setbacks will happen. I gave in, but then leaning in and learning from it. Why did I give in? What was the variable that made me give in? Let's correct that variable too. Handle it without giving up. External accountability. You can welcome that now. Building through that rewiring process is crucial. So follow along, do the steps I outlined in this video here today, and start rewiring your patterns. Now look, if everything I've described here in this video today almost feels like I've been watching your life, there's something that you do need to hear. This pattern that you hate so much, it saved you once. That part of you that slams the door when love gets too real was the same part that figured out how to survive when you were small and you had no other options. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning. It's doing exactly what it was trained to do. But the shame that you feel after pushing someone away, that confusion about why you keep repeating the same destructive cycles, none of that means that you're fundamentally flawed or broken or bad. It means that you're human with a nervous system that learns some very specific lessons about what happens when you let people get too close. So none of this is about becoming a different person or forcing yourself to just be braver. Your nervous system can learn new information. Those threat signals that fire off when someone wants real intimacy, they can be retrained. That 58 to 63-day window that I talked about with Dr. Caroline Leaf, that isn't just theory. She's proven it through her work. You don't have to spend the rest of your life watching yourself destroy what you want most. You can retrain your amygdala to recognize safety. You can have someone love you without your body treating it like an attack. These 3 steps that I outlined here today, they work, but only if you actually follow through on them. Now, if you need help following through on them, if you need guidance on what to do, if you want someone to build you your mind, brain, body steps for the exact problem you're going through, that's called coaching. And my team and I offer direct coaching for exactly this purpose in a variety of skill sets and life circumstances so that we can come in, train you, and get you through that program as fast and as structured and as safe as possible. Okay? If you want some help, you want to understand how to do this with us, we have multiple options. Please email us, support@adamlanesmith.com. support@adamlanesmith.com. We'd be happy to talk with you about your options. The email is free. Email us, let's talk, let's set you on your path, and you can decide how you'd like to move forward. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist. I'll be here all week. I'll be here for as long as I'm here, right? I am here to help you, and I'm thankful to every single person here who has spent their time with me, who has trusted me, and who has helped us reach 150,000 subscribers here on this channel. I greatly appreciate you. A special call out to all of my members who help support this channel and support me in my work. Thank you. Thank you. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring the little bell for notifications, come to my next live stream, and I will see you in the next video.